I was upstairs in the library earlier this week and I came across this little parcel. I hadn't seen it in a number of years. You can't tell, but it's worn and weathered. It's been through the post many, many times, back and forth. And it contains a single cassette tape. The majority of you won't be able to appreciate this, won't have any frame of reference, but once upon a time, in terms of correspondence, individuals would write letters to one another, pen pals, that sort of thing. This was long before anti-social media destroyed your senses and sensibilities and cast your attention spans down the garbage disposal. Now, in tandem with writing letters, pen and paper, exchanging them through the post, there was, at the time, an ultra-modern idea. Exchanging tapes, cassette tapes. I used to call them verbal correspondence tapes. You'd take an old tape recorder. Some of you might know the type. Remember it from way back when. And you'd set it up and basically just, not so much dictate a letter, but talk to the person on the other end, on the receiving end, as conversationally as I'm speaking to you today. You put the tape in and go about your business as it's recording. And you would express to that person everything that you might have to say in a letter. Now, there are those who are more adept at this than others. But for a while there, your late punk's auntie's mother, the lunch lady, she took to this way of correspondence. In fact, this was the parcel that we used. This was the same cassette tape. You'd receive it, listen to it, and then record over it. If you wanted to, you could take notes so that you could respond to different details. And it took her a while to get used to the idea, and that came as a surprise to me. Here I am in this office speaking to, for all intents and purposes, an inanimate object through which I am speaking to you. I have no problem with making that extra connection. And while I'm not suggesting that she is in any way unimaginative or uncreative or has a lack of scope, she did tell me initially that she found it a little bit awkward, basically, to be speaking to a machine. It made her a little self-conscious. But she got used to it after a while. Because the beauty about these cassette tapes and this form of correspondence is you can be recording while you're doing something. Whether it's darning socks, preparing something in the kitchen, working on your car, anything at all. Tidying up a room, or you're telling the person what you did that week, what you're going to do tomorrow, how so-and-so is doing, so on and so forth. I think you understand. Yes. And I can recall, at one point in time, she sent me a response in which she was in her kitchen preparing dinner, but also prepping any number of entrees which she, out of habit, made ahead of time, and then would put in her freezer so that they would be ready to go in the future. She's a veritable Peg Bracken in that respect. And as she was talking, she segued into what she was doing. Oh, well, at this point, I'm going to make this casserole and this lasagna ahead of time, and I have some of the ingredients, and, oh, I just bought from the supermarket this brand new type of Ziploc freezer bags, and I got to tell you, they work beautifully. They keep everything fresh when you compress all of the air out of them and you enact an airtight seal and you put them in the freezer or even in the icebox proper. Yes, these are really magnificent. And then she paused, and her voice became kind of apologetic, and she chuckled and she said, "Listen to me going on and on. You probably don't give a damn about my Ziploc freezer bags. It's probably as boring as can be. The thing of it is, and this is the point to our entire visit today, The detail about, as it happened, Ziploc freezer bags, although it could have been anything else at all. Those little details, those little insights, those minor points and nuances which make up your day, they comprise a reflection of you, what you are doing, what you are all about, what's important to you. A reflection of your personality, your essence, your being. And to the person on the receiving end, envisioning either what's being described on pen and paper, or in this case, in the voice of the very person themselves. Oh no, something as inconsequential as Ziploc freezer bags. It becomes so very poignant because it's real. It's real. Those details, those underlying fine points, that's what it's all about. And that's the very purpose of communication, and in this case, correspondence. The reality of what she conveyed to me from her kitchen as she was preparing all of the foodstuffs, it's incomparable. Those little details, they're everything. They might not seem significant to you because you are on the inside looking out, but to all of the rest of us looking in at you, who you are and what you do, these details, they're everything. They give us something to hang on to, something to love, something to appreciate. Yeah. Those little details. That is what it's all about.